So Erin, and in so many aspects of building, there's certain things that you just did not anticipate were going to be as hard as they really ended up being. Was there something about this site that, we're in a historic neighborhood. Was there anything that you were kind of surprised about how challenging it ended up being?
Yes, so we are in a historic neighborhood, which means these homes have been around for a long, long time, which means the infrastructure of this neighborhood is in place. So we're sitting in a dining room right now, and when we look out this window, it's absolutely beautiful. And the reason it's beautiful as we look out is we don't see any power lines.
Oh, yes.
Because
that was
yes,
the beast.
You remember that, right?
I do.
We moved a power pole, and the lines are underground so that the entire view this way is spectacular.
Yeah, well, it's one of those interesting things. It depends on what community you are in, obviously anywhere, but also, what community, even in Houston, where we're located, where you might be, that you might have power lines running across the front of your property. And it was interesting to me because, it was a simple ask. Let's get rid of the power in front of our property. And then the hilarious thing is that you have to move heaven and earth to have power lines buried.
Neighbors.
You've got to coordinate with the neighbors. Yep, permits.
The center point.
Yes, which is they maintain in Houston all the power lines.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
We had to have approval from the city permitting office. We had to cost. We also there's only certain contractors that are able to service, the utility lines. So to have them all coordinate at one time. Oh, we even had Comcast and AT&T. Their lines utilize the same power lines. We even had to schedule around them for them to run their lines as well, just to bury essentially 100 feet of power lines.
Yes, and coordinating two large animals in the industry together. You can imagine the massive undertaking. But here we are. We're sitting in your beautiful home and we're looking out and it's crystal clear.
Yeah, well, and what's really nice about that is just the fact that I remember when they finally were burying the lines. I remember sending you a text message and being like, "They're burying the lines!" Like,
that's right.
It took months and months and months of coordination.
It did.
Well,
I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, I'm so glad we did it. And I love taking that walk down memory lane. That was something I had kind of forgotten how painful that was.
Right, and we again, just to bring it back here, we talk about all the beautiful things in the home, but recognizing when you're living in the home and looking out, that is just as important, right?
Yeah, exactly. Is looking inward. I 100% agree. And again, in Houston, I would say it's an exceptional challenge, but I know there's many communities across the world that have to deal with things like power lines right outside their windows. So, but it's the small details that make a big difference. I also just knew that when I wanted to photograph this house, and I knew that the front exterior, if I had power lines going across the front of the house, it would have just ruined it. So it was something I was committed to making sure that these went away.
Yeah, good call. Very good call.